Hey guys, this is Jen with Schooling with the Homies. I have another question today on the Special Needs Homeschooling Facebook group. And this question says, I'm so determined to homeschool my 3-year-old autistic son, even though I feel like many people are against me doing it because they think public school is better for him. I have so many reasons why homeschooling would be a better fit. And I know it won't be easy, but I wish people had a little more faith in me doing this for him. He's such a smart little boy, and I know he'll just get left back because he won't have that personal attention he needs. Has anyone else homeschooled their child, even when everyone else is against it? And this person is looking for support because they're feeling discouraged that those around them really just are saying, just send him to public school. What I did was I responded to this mom, and here's the information I felt was necessary to give her. First of all, because he's only 3 at this point, yes, this would be the time for him to enter ESE pre-K, because if he got early steps prior, now he's kind of moving into the system, and that's just the natural progression of things when you are getting early intervention through the state, is to go into public school, into an ESE pre-K program or VE preschool program with the county at the public school. There's lots of different ways that could pan out, depending on what county you're into. And I personally have been a pre-K ESE teacher in a blended classroom model in the public school setting in my area of Florida. And from my experience, I would not recommend it. However, when I first was starting out in school, in college that is, I did some hours observing in a different ESE classroom at a different public school, and it was a very different experience. There were, 7 kids present at most, 2 adults in the classroom. It was a very calm, peaceful environment, lots of developmentally appropriate learning taking place, and it just seemed really appropriate for those 3 to 5-year-olds. My experience wasn't the same. I did a blended model, which I think sometimes is really successful. I think sometimes it's not successful. So I did that for a couple of years, and I would not have recommended it to anyone, and that's why I'm not doing it anymore. And there's lots more details I could give regarding that, but so it's never really my recommendation to go that route. If a person wants to go the public school route, they visit the school and they feel it's right for their child, then obviously go for it. But I don't think it's necessary, especially if people are pressuring you to do so. He's 3. Right now, in my opinion, my professional opinion, what he needs is as much early intervention as possible. And I think it's best when that intervention is in home, because then you are generalizing skills and you're training parents. And so at 3 years old, he's not getting early steps anymore, if he was getting it at all. And really what he needs is in-home services, whether that's ABA, OT, speech, other early intervention. Fill in that gap, fill in that space. If this mom doesn't want to send her kid to public school at 3 years old, she doesn't have to. That's up to her, that's her decision. And I think in many cases it's best not to. So because of his age, from now, even until he's 7, I would say this 3 to 7 years old, this block, the best thing she can do is just flood him with early intervention and therapies, and do as much of that in home as possible so that she can be present and learn, so that she can see what the therapists are doing in that 30 to 60 minutes a couple times a week, and she can do it throughout the day, throughout the week, and help her child generalize skills that he's going to learn to do with a therapist and be able to do those with mom. Because a lot of times things like behavior and routines in the home will interfere with kids doing things they can do at school or with a therapist. So the goal is to get him as much intervention as possible at this point, and primarily play-based, social, functional, interacting, language, playing games, taking turns on a developmentally appropriate level for a 3-year-old. And I think those are the foundation. Those are the foundation for, again, not only his functioning, but also academically. If we don't have behavioral, social, functional skills, the academics are going to be much more difficult. And so that's my recommendation, is that he doesn't need to go to public school. If she chooses to, I would just be very, very involved and show up and see what's going on in that classroom. I think one-on-one attention when it comes to therapy and even education outside of therapy, even when you're looking at academics, for this child, one-on-one is probably going to be the best. He does need social interaction, but when it comes to therapy, academics, and training, one-on-one is what he needs. And so my recommendation is he's 3, flood him with interventions, as much in-home therapy as possible, and let that be the foundation. Don't stress about the academics right now. He's 3. Even if he was regular ed and didn't have any diagnosis, he's 3. So thanks for listening, and send me questions. I'll be answering more. So have a great one.